Hi all, today we're going to talk about the Striker 9, better known as the UMP9 because that's exactly what it is. It's available through completing armory unlocks. It takes 5 of them, either 5 daily challenges or 5 victories, however the armory system works, whenever this video is watched. And it is essentially the Striker, but it's firing 9mm. It feels really good. Right now it feels really strong, and I highly recommend unlocking it if you like submachine guns. It is really nice. The easiest weapon to compare it to is, of course, the Striker, the UMP45. It's the UMP9 compared to the UMP45. So basically, in short, the UMP9 loses a little bit of damage, 4 body shot damage and 5 headshot damage, in exchange for gaining more than 200 rounds per minute more of fire rate. It feels good. It's not quite as controllable as the UMP45, the Striker, just because it fires significantly faster, but this can be managed pretty easily without taking a penalty to your ADS speed. So we're going to run through how I build it, then we're going to jump right into a live match, and, you'll see what the gun looks like in the hands of an average player in a fairly average game. So, I found the Striker Elite Long Barrel to work the best. You gain a little bit of damage range, which is always handy in a submachine gun. You gain a little bit of recoil control, you gain a little bit of velocity, and your gun just becomes slightly more accurate. You do lose a little bit of move speed, and you lose a little bit of sprint to fire, but it's not huge. They're not massive penalties, and you will notice the damage range benefit as well as the recoil benefits. It's a very comfortable upgrade to run. As for the laser slot, I just went with the standard VLK laser. It just gives you more aim down sight speed and a little bit more sprint to fire speed. It's just handy. You could drop this in favor of something else, but it is essentially a free benefit if you don't have an active place for it. I'm running an optic now that optics in Modern Warfare 3 don't nuke your ADS speed. Thank God. If you're comfortable with the irons, you could of course change this out for something else, but again, now that the 1x optics don't take penalties, I would recommend running one. It just makes guns nicer to use. As for the stock, I actually found the Recon Series stock to work the best. Again, you do lose some sprint to fire speed as well as move speed, but you gain fairly solid recoil benefits. It just makes the gun significantly more comfortable to use, especially when you're really pushing out its damage range. And since you're not losing ADS speed, it doesn't feel like you actually lose that much handling with it. It's only a 7% loss to your sprint to fire as well. Sure, your move speed is hit, but they're not major parameters. So, really, the only thing you're losing here is your hip fire and your tack spread. And, you think you use either of those in the first place? And finally, the 25-round magazine is a direct upgrade. You lose 5 rounds in exchange for gaining just slightly better stats all around. It is very much free. It's just a free upgrade. You will not notice those 5 rounds ever. It's basically just totally free. There's no reason not to pick it whatsoever, unless you're absolutely running out of slots. It's just free. I should probably mute the lobby before I have to re-record this video. So we're jumping straight into a random match. It's going to be hardpoint high rise. That's fairly decent. High rise is a good map. The UMP9 is a good gun. As I said, this is completely unedited. This is literally as live as it gets. So, I'm a fairly average player. I'm not anything amazing. I'm not anything too bad. Of course, skill-based matchmaking is very heavy in this game right now, so we'll see if I just get a ruin on a game, which would be supremely unfortunate, but alas, it is what it is. So, on the whole, the UMP9, the Striker 9, I'm probably just going to call it the UMP9 and the UMP45 because that's what they are. The UMP9 is very good. It's a very comfortable weapon. Its only real downside is it's not accurate at range, just because it's a submachine gun. But you can't really get too mad at it being inaccurate at range, because it's a submachine gun. Sure, it's not going to perform as well as the Striker 45, the UMP45. You know what I mean. But it's comfortable. It's really comfortable. Sure, you do lose a little bit of raw damage, but gaining 200 RPM in comparison to the regular Striker is huge. You will notice that consistently in close quarters. It's not that the Striker is a bad weapon. In fact, I think the Striker is an excellent starter weapon thanks to how easily controllable it is and how comfortable it feels. But if you're looking for the Striker with just a little bit more damage output, the Striker 9 is the perfect option. We're going to steal this kill streak. I'm probably going to get killed, but we're going to steal while we're here. Counter UAV, you know what? It's a free kill streak. It's a free streak. We can't complain that much. Now, do note that this is just the general build. This is the build I found to be most comfortable with for general play. Obviously, if you're going to go specifically for the hipfire count challenge, build it for hipfire. I shouldn't need to tell you how to build it for hipfire. Select everything and anything that gives you hipfire improvements, and roll with it. But for general play, this is the loadout I found to be the most comfortable. You don't lose any ADS speed, the gun still feels very comfortable. And it just feels nice. The DPM increase, the DPS increase over the regular striker is very noticeable, especially in close range. It just makes the gun more comfortable, more easy to use. It lets you win engagements that you probably wouldn't with a striker. And, well, it's comfortable. Yes, it does not work well at long range. But no submachine gun works well at long range. In fact, high-rise might be one of the worst maps you could have gotten for this. But that's the nature of playing these things live. This is, you know, this is how it goes. It's Call of Duty. Overall, whether I would say the Striker 9, the UMP9, I wish I could have come up with a consistent naming scheme before I started the recording. Do I think it's worth rushing an armory unlock on? Now, that depends on how much you like submachine guns. I think the Striker 9 is a good gun. I think it's a very comfortable gun to use. I think it's a good gun to use. It feels good in close range as long as you're good at the game. I'm not, but here we are. However, I don't think it's so outstanding or so unique in gameplay that it needs to be rushed. I rushed for it because I really like submachine guns and I really like my UMPs. Therefore, UMP9? Well, of course I'll rush for it. There's no reason not to. But if you don't particularly like submachine guns, or you don't particularly like the UMPs, there's no need to actually rush this thing down. It's a good gun, and I think it's definitely one of the stronger SMGs. Like, I think it could very well be up there in terms of the strongest SMGs. But do I think it needs to be an extremely high priority? No, not really. Most players would probably get more use out of rushing an assault rifle or something else instead. Or rushing, say, the Dead Silence boots. You'll probably get more overall out of getting a perk or a kill streak that you'll be using every game compared to the Striker 9 that you will use whenever you feel like having an SMG game. But if you really like the UMP, and you really like the Striker, and you really like your submachine guns, it is more than a fine upgrade. I would definitely recommend unlocking it. It is definitely worth having. It's a very nice tool to have. It's a fun gun to use. But it is your Call of Duty. Ultimately, I can't tell you what to do. I can just recommend, hey, I'm a submachine gun player. I really like the Striker 9. I know I don't have that many kills. I joined late. Sue me. One last thing, because I should have mentioned it before everything. Perks. So, I so far have been using mag holster, because it gives you faster reload speed. Very, very handy on a submachine gun, especially when you're in close range. Having a stun is handy in your tack. I run the throwing knife because I'm trying to unlock the Ninja Star. Whatever lethal you want is fine. Calm Scrambler is nice to have. I really like the quick grip gloves because if you run out of ammo with the UMP, being able to switch to your pistol like that is super handy. You could drop this in favor of Commando, or Marksman Glove, or Assault. It depends on how aggressive you play. Quick grip is just a very safe pick. In the way of boots, I'm still running the lightweights just because I like the extra move speed. I think the Stalker boots would be very handy for the increased ADS move speed, and of course the Covert Sneakers are very strong right now because they're just dead silence. In the gear slot, I've been running the mag holster. I just find it really comfortable to use. It just gives you faster reload, really handy if you play aggressively with your submachine gun. And as for vest, I'm going to admit a minute, I'm basic, I run infantry vest. Everything here should work fine. Just note that duplicate effects don't stack. For example, if you choose to run the gunner vest, you don't want to run the mag holster because you're just duping the effect anyway. So just keep in mind what perks you're running. On the whole, really fun gun to use. Highly recommend it. If you like your submachine guns, I would recommend rushing for it. But for most players, I think it's probably better to go for perks, lethals, tacticals, kill streaks that you'll be using every game all the time, instead of rushing for a gun that you're probably just going to grind the camel zone on, and then drop. Thank you all, and I will see you all again next time. Bye.